Bill Belichick has more Super Bowl rings than anybody in the National Checkdown League, but the league did not want him. For the second year in a row, Bill Belichick has been available, and the league said, I'm good, love, enjoy. Let's talk about it. As you see here, your man's Adam Schefter with Chapel Bill, no longer Chapel Hill. They're calling it Chapel Bill. Bill Belichick is now in the college ranks, and he is in the ACC, and he is at what some people think is a sleeping giant in the University of North Carolina Tar Heels. But what does this really mean? What is this really saying? If you want to believe the sources, and we have the articles to prove it here, Belichick just a few weeks ago was out here spinning the block with the New York Jets, the same Jets that he famously or infamously, depending on how you look at it, quit after 24 hours. That's one day on the job. He faxed in a resignation, didn't hold a press conference, didn't do anything. He just literally faxed and said, yo, I'm out. Deuces. That's how bad it's been for your man's double B's, Bill Belichick, because he tried to spin the block and get that old thing back. But that old thing wasn't really the old thing because he got rid of that old thing in under 24 hours back in the day. That's how bad it's been. The Jets didn't want him. He had his cronies reach out to the Bears, a poverty franchise, a desperate franchise, or a franchise that needs an overhaul. And even they said, nah, Bill, we good on that. Why didn't the NFL want him? No one has epitomized winning at all cost more than Belichick, more than a Bill Belichick team. The one thing you know about a Bill Belichick team is that they will do it at all cost. From, Spygate to all types of Inflategate, all the gates in the world, the Patriots under Bill Belichick were winning at all cost. Spare no expense, spare no rule. We trying to get that dub. Now, how does that translate into NCAA, which now with NIL, which again, let's make sure we're clear on that, players are still not getting paid by universities. This is boosters and, sponsorship deals that are infusing players with money to play at these universities. Universities are still not paying these players. So the fact of the matter is that the NCAA is still skating. But anyway, what we're looking at here is the fact that Bill Belichick is trying to evolve. And while some think it's evolving downward, it's evolving with the times, because Belichick at the National Checkdown League was a no-nonsense guy. He would cut you without the drop of a hat. We still don't know what happened to Malcolm Butler being benched in that Super Bowl. Malcolm Butler still isn't speaking on it. We don't know what the hell happened. We just know Belichick benched him. Now with the college portal, the transfer portal, the game is flipped upside down. Not only can Belichick not control what his players do, but the players ultimately have more power in college than Bill Belichick. So Belichick is used to being autonomous, having all the authority. NCAA, which used to fine players for doing the most minute of things, now can't control a kid from going from year to year to year to 3 different schools in 3 years. This is what Bill Belichick is walking into, who's used to having the autonomy to do whatever he wants. He's now walking into a system that is flipped upside down. The players run it. Now, you can sell the mythology of Bill Belichick. You can sell the story that is football and how players need to commit to themselves and commit to the institution and commit to the family that you're building on that roster. But with the NIL, when money comes into play, you see the reality of who has the real value, who has the real power. And while Belichick is getting paid a lot of money, 5-year deal, $50 million. Now, let's also be clear. The only part that's guaranteed is the first 3 years. So 10 mil per, 30 million is what's really guaranteed in his contract. So even though Bill Belichick was getting upwards of 20 million allegedly with the Patriots in the National Checkdown League, he is now getting his salary cut in half to come down to the college ranks. But in the college ranks, that 10 million per year salary puts him in the upper echelon of college coaches. If you see here with this contract, we're talking about a 5-year deal through December 2029, $1 million base salary plus $9 million in supplemental income. The first 3 years of base salary and supplemental income are guaranteed. Base salary and supplemental income in contract 4 and 5 are not guaranteed. So that confirms everything we just spoke about. But some of the bonuses you see here, which again are all predicated off winning. If he wins 8 games, he gets $150K. That's a bonus. These bonuses can add up to $3.5 million per year. So in addition to the 10 mil, if he's able to hit all of these bonuses, he can rack up an extra $3.5 million. Now, the likelihood of doing that in year one is highly unlikely, but potentially if he can build, because again, the ACC is not as strong as, it's not the SEC, even though the SEC has probably come down a little bit because of the portal, because of players being able to bounce and go get opportunities elsewhere. And now at NIL, smaller schools able to throw bags at the third string running back at Georgia, the fourth string wide receiver at Alabama, and now that dude can go cook up for Akron, for whatever small college, right? The ACC isn't as good as the SEC, but the gap isn't what it used to be. We just watched SMU walk into the ACC and make the conference championship in year one, okay? And make the playoff based off beating a predominantly ACC schedule. So clearly the ACC isn't that tough when you're comparing it to other Big Five conferences. So it shouldn't take that long for Bill Belichick, if he is who we all think he is, to be able to go out and recruit. North Carolina, hey, that's still the South. Last time I checked, and the South normally breeds a lot of football players. So if he can stay and get the local recruits to stay home and go pluck some blue chippers, some 4- and 5-star kids from other programs, that North Carolina thing could get turned around quick, fast, in a hurry. But that remains to be seen. Even though we got the Holy Cross Center that's already committed, it remains to be seen, can he get enough of those types, 4- and 5-stars, to commit? So could the Belichick master plan be, hey, look, let me build this program up. Let me go ahead and get my acumen back up, get my credibility back up, because at the end of his Patriots tenure, there was a notion that Belichick has lost today's player. He can't compete in the modern National Checkdown League. Well, now, if he does a 3-year bid at UNC and it turns out to be, what we think it is at the highest of highs in terms of he can make that, now he's going to make this program a top 5 program? No. But can he get this program into the playoff? I can see that happening. I mean, if SMU gets in and they didn't even win the conference, I don't see why UNC can't run that back in the same type of way, okay, over these first 3 years. Now, after these first 3 years are done, he can walk away from that contract. That contract is done, so he can pass the program off to his son, because that's the only way his son's going to be able to run a high-level D1 program. And now that he's free of that contract, the buyout is no longer in play, and he's free and clear, and no NFL team has to worry about paying UNC a penny to get the services of Bill Belichick. Is that the master plan at play here? Is he playing the long game instead of the short game? He tried the short game these last 2 years trying to get a gig, and no one would bite. So now is his 2-year plan now a 5-year plan once you add in the 3 years at UNC? Let's talk about the quiet part. Let's say the quiet part out loud. This is a revenge tour for Bill Belichick. Can you imagine winning 8 Super Bowls, 6 as a head coach, 2 as an assistant, but winning 8 of them things? And people are questioning your acumen. People are questioning your talent evaluation. Now, again, as a coach, top tier, GM, as we saw towards the end there in New England, less so, right? You are personally responsible for 8 of them things. And nobody wanted to hire you. Nobody. You used your connects to have backroom conversations. You used people that you were cool with, former assistants, former players, to do your bidding for you in current NFL front offices, and they all came back with Nathan, nada, zilch, zero. Can you imagine the angst that man feels? Do you think that man really wants to be in Chapel Hill? That man does not want to be in Chapel Hill. Does this look like a man that wants to be in Chapel Hill? Do you think this man wants to walk around in Carolina blue suits everywhere he goes? Does the man who is infamous for wearing hoodies everywhere he goes, short sleeve and long sleeve, do you think that man wants to now spend the later years of his life walking around in double and triple breasted Carolina blue suits? This man is mad. And this man is so mad that he's going to sick his son on college football in 3 years. This man is so mad that he's got the NIL money now to go get 20 mil when it was just 5 million last year. He's now got that quadrupled up 4 times for 20 mil. He's going to be throwing money at these kids left and right because he wants to prove that he can win. He's mad that that doc came out about the Patriots dynasty and players in that doc, Robert Kraft in that doc, you know who in that doc, all took shots at Belichick, all threw shade at Belichick. How you have a doc about a team winning 6 Super Bowls and there's players in there, owner in there, franchise player, future Hall of Famer, potentially the GOAT in there, trashing the coach of those 6 Super Bowls. And going to UNC is a middle finger to the Shield, to the front offices, to the scouts, to the agents, to the trainers, to the coordinators, to everyone involved with the Shield. I'm going to go get my money down here. I don't want your puny little all-time wins coaching record unless you're going to pay me to come back. But even if you don't, I'll stay right here, win here, cash out, build my legacy back up, and then pass this off to my offspring.